Hey friends, and welcome back to Gardening Suburbia. My name is Amanda, and today we are going to be changing out the Greenstalk. So I have a original Greenstalk that is that deeper pocket that's more suitable for like things like peppers. You can plant potatoes, tomatoes, onions, potatoes. And so I currently have some brassicas in there, and it has been getting quite warm, especially for the brassicas. So a lot of those are going to seed, and the bugs have found them. I think I've got about 8 pockets that are filled currently with some brassicas, different things like broccoli, cabbage, and cauliflower. Unfortunately, I didn't get a harvest out of any of those, but that's more of my fault because I didn't harvest them soon enough. And I probably could have gotten at least like a side dish of broccoli, but I waited too long and they went to seed. So learn from mistakes, do better next time. But I went ahead and I rooted some of my determinate tomatoes. I think you guys were with me when I mentioned I could have taken my Roma sucker. So that's the part of the tomato plant that comes from the armpit. So this plant right here, if I can get it unattached. If this plant were in the ground and it started growing, you can kind of see how it has like a little bit of a green portion in that armpit right there. Right there would grow a sucker, or will grow a sucker, or what's called a sucker. And basically when a plant is determinate or indeterminate, determinate meaning it grows to a set size and then it stops growing, and it only produces a certain amount of fruit, or indeterminate where that plant will continue to grow until either disease, pests, or temperature, if it gets too cold, takes that plant out. So these are determinate plants, and so I wanted to get them in my Greenstalk because I feel like the determinate plants are going to do better in the Greenstalk than an indeterminate, which I tried last season. Although last season I tried it with a different soil in my Greenstalk. This year I gave it a really good potting mix. So things look a lot better than they did last year. So these guys have been in a windowsill for about a week and a half, 2 weeks. And as you can see, they have developed some beautiful roots. Now these guys are ready to be planted. It does look like it is going to rain today, which is perfect time to get these guys in. I would probably wait to plant these if it were going to be extremely hot. So either planting them early in the morning or later in the evening, and making sure that you give them a good water once you do get them in the whatever you're planting them in. So doing this makes it so I get approximately a 6 to 8 week plant start without having to put a seed in the soil. So just taking that sucker, putting it in water, putting it in a windowsill, I now have a plant start that took 2 weeks rather than 6 to 8. So we need to get things ripped out of the Greenstalk, and I'm going to show you what that looks like right now. All right, so the Greenstalk is quite full. This is my original Greenstalk, and all of my brassicas are wholly. There are so many bugs on them, it's kind of gross. You can see all of the bug poo and whatnot inside of the armpits. Cabbages probably have worms all over them. I just haven't even looked. This guy for sure has worms somewhere on him. So I'm going to get these guys taken out just because they're not going to do much of anything for me, especially the broccoli. Broccoli is starting to go to seed. You can see some flowers. So broccoli, as we eat it, we literally eat flower buds. So when the broccoli is nice and young, they're closed flower buds, but once it starts to go to seed, you get these pretty little yellow flowers. So let me get you guys set up so we can get these guys taken out. All right, so as it stands, I'm just gonna kind of try to chop these guys out, and then I need to get the root system out to make room for the new stuff. Make sure I get all my tags. And this definitely needs some water. The soil is quite dry. Here soon we'll be actually harvesting potatoes. I was looking at my calendar and through pictures to see when I actually planted these potatoes. So these guys have flowered. I think it's been about 2 to 3 weeks since they've flowered. And from what I've read, at least with the varieties that I got, potatoes can be ready to be harvested anywhere between 75 to 100 in like 25 days. The longer being for like the larger potatoes like russets. These are smaller varieties. I think, I'm trying to remember what exactly I planted. I think I planted the blue Adirondack, or maybe it was purple. No, it was blue, because the potato's actually purple, but it was named the blue Adirondack. But it was named the blue Adirondack. And then I've got a Yukon, and I might have had a russet, maybe. I can't remember. I know I had 3 varieties. But these guys are going to be ready to be harvested very soon, because I planted them on April 13th, and they are starting to get some of the yellowing and whatnot. You can just go ahead and wait for these to completely die back. The sooner that you harvest your potatoes, the smaller that they'll be. So they'll be more like those new potatoes, like the really small ones. The longer that you wait, obviously, the larger they're gonna get, because they're gonna have more time to actually grow to that larger size. So for all of these brassicas, I'm just gonna throw it in my compost pile. This is the time where I wish I had chickens, because I could watch them eat them. Or I could just throw them to the side, and if I were going to my sister's, and give them to her chickens. But I don't know that I'm going there anytime soon. So we've got those guys. Kind of sad I didn't get to try this cheddar broccoli, this cheddar cauliflower. But I did get to see it grow, and that was pretty cool. This yellow is super cool. So I definitely have to try to grow that one again. So we've got all of our pockets emptied, and now I just need to plant some stuff. So I did actually also purchase a few other things. So I've got three of the tomatoes that I went ahead and I rooted. And then I also purchased another sweet banana pepper, because I only have one. This one has 3 plants in it. So when I buy plants from like Home Depot or something, I really look for the ones that are overseeded. So this has 3 different pepper plants in it. So I will separate those. But I have some other plants that I had purchased from Funky's. So I am taking some very thorough notes of what all's being planted in my garden, so I know exactly how many plants I planted this year and can kind of compare that to what I get harvested. So my second round of Funky's, I got a couple indeterminates, a couple of semi-determinates, which is the San Marzano, which I'm super excited about, the Marglobe, which is another semi-indeterminate, and then I got a very cherry Cascade, and then a tomato patio, which are both determinates. Those are the guys I'm going to be planting in my Greenstalk, along with the ones that I rooted. So these guys are, well, this one is kind of sad because it needs water, but that is okay. So we've got 5 plants and 8 pockets. So I think I'm going to, Aha! Yeah, I'm gonna put those banana peppers in there. So I am gonna keep up with making sure that I am labeling where I am planting things. Yeah. So I have my old diagram right here for this Greenstalk, and my garden plan is messy. So basically I'm going to put off to the side some more circles. Put some arrows, and I'm going to put the date, which is June 10th. And essentially, just going to get these guys planted. I'm going to kind of base where I plant these on what's planted below. So first I'm going to go with this banana pepper. So just going to get this out of the container. It's been watered recently, so the soil is still moist. And I'm just going to very gingerly get these guys apart. Just going to be fun. We'll see if I can do this without completely killing. I just need there to be a majority of some roots on each of the plants. So there's some roots. That guy may or may not make it, and then this guy. So we'll get these all planted. Looks like there's some flowers. I'll just take those guys off. All right. Let's see here. I'll take you guys to the back side. I'm gonna keep these guys kind of together. I have my other banana pepper right over here in this black pot. I'm gonna give this guy a good water once all these are planted out. All right, so I think we're gonna put the next tomatoes over here. So we've got a Roma. I'll just plant this guy. Just pour the water on that. And then we'll plant a Mexico midget here and one right here. I'm gonna take this bottom set of leaves off. So it does look like one of my tomatoes started putting flowers on. I am going to just take that off, only because I want this guy to put more focus on getting those roots established, and then it can go ahead and produce some tomatoes. But I need this guy to focus on roots. So we've got 2 more pockets left, and we're gonna put our Funky's tomatoes in this side. Hopefully you guys don't fall over. All right, so we've got one very cherry cascade and our tomato patio. This guy will perk up after he gets some water. He's just a little droopy because he needs water. All right, let's just give these guys some water, and this Greenstalk will be on to its next phase, which is awesome. Because the tomatoes that are in this right now, they look so good. Like, so good. They are setting some fruit. Oh, we got flowers. This one's got some fruit. Little tomatoes. Look how cute. All right, let's get some water in this. So I do want to clarify, my potatoes that I planted are the blue Adirondack, the Kennebec, and then also my Yukon Gold. So the Yukon Gold and the blue Adirondack have a shorter time to harvest than that of the Kennebec. The Kennebec needs a longer time. So if you're wanting potatoes that are good for storage, you want to pick the varieties that are good for storage. And then when you go to harvest, you actually want to wait until those plants completely die back. So it's going to be a few weeks after they flower. They'll die back and become brown, and that's when you want to go ahead and harvest. That's when the skins are going to be thicker. When you harvest them sooner, they're going to be more like new potatoes. They're going to be buttery soft, but you're also going to want to use those sooner. All right, so I am going to kind of water in the pockets and then do an overhead watering, only because these guys really need to get soaked so that they don't dry out and die. Same goes for these pepper plants that I separated. Really needs water. I just found a little baby praying mantis in my garden. So this is the second year that I've found baby praying mantises. I've not yet seen the eggs. I know that like Christmas tree farmers have to search their trees for praying mantis egg sacs, because if you get sold a Christmas tree during Christmas, you bring that tree inside your warm house. If they are missed, they'll hatch. But I've never actually looked up what those look like, so I'm gonna have to do some research, because I'm kind of curious now what those what praying mantis egg sacs look like. But this guy is chilling underneath of my peppermint zinnia. Actually the first zinnia that's bloomed in my garden. And I don't know how I managed to see this guy, because he is itty bitty. It looks like he's putting his dukes up. Thank you guys for joining me on another day of getting some more things done in the garden. I'm super excited with how this garden is turning out. It's wild that we are already in June. The birds are making it known that they are here. We've got tons of little peppers and tomatoes starting to form. It is looking like a jungle. We're getting some flowers blooming, and I am just so excited with the garden and all. So thank you guys so much for joining me. If you guys have any questions, please pop them down below, and I will try to answer the best I can. But I will go ahead and pop a video up here for you guys to enjoy until my next upload. But until then, thank you guys so much, and I really hope you have a wonderful week.